My name's Sarah, and if you told me 5 years ago that I'd be in the middle of a tech startup whirlwind with Alex, of all people, I'd have laughed in your face. Alex and I met in college, in one of those highfalutin business courses where everyone thinks they're the next big thing. From the get-go, Alex and I were at each other's throats, competing for grades, internships, you name it. Think you can beat my presentation, Sarah? Alex would tease, leaning against the classroom door with that annoying smirk. Watch me, Alex. I'm not just going to beat it, I'm going to make you wish you never stepped up. I'd fire back, my words a mix of jest and determination. That was our thing, always pushing each other to be better, but never admitting it was actually helpful. It wasn't until a group project forced us to work together that things shifted. We found our rhythm, a balance between his bold ideas and my attention to detail. One night, while cramming for the project, we ended up sharing more than just notes. You know, Sarah, I always thought you were just a pain in my ass. But you're actually kinda brilliant, Alex confessed, his guard down for once, as we sat amidst a sea of papers and empty coffee cups. Kinda brilliant? Please, I'm the best thing that's happened to this project. But yeah, you're not too shabby yourself, Alex, I said, the words feeling foreign but honest. That project was a turning point. Our bickering turned into brainstorming sessions, and before we knew it, we were more than just competitors or even friends. We were in love, talking about futures and dreams in a way neither of us had dared before. One evening, just as the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the campus, Alex turned to me with an idea. What if we don't just dream about making something of ourselves? What if we actually do it? Together? You mean, start a company? You and me? I asked, the idea sounding crazy but thrilling. Yeah, why not? We make a good team, Sarah. We could make this work, Alex said, his eyes alight with the kind of passion I'd come to admire. I couldn't help but laugh, the sound echoing in the emptying quad. All right, Mr. Big Shot. But if we're doing this, we're doing it my way. No half-assing it. Deal. But I'm the director, Alex quickly added, that familiar smirk returning. Fine, Mr. Director. But remember, behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes, I quipped, our laughter mingling with the promises of the future. Fast forward to graduation, and we were married. Not just to each other, but to our dream. We poured everything we had into our startup. Alex took the title of director, wearing it like a crown. Part of me found it endearing, his childlike excitement at being able to call himself a director. I knew the title meant the world to him, not for the power it held, but for the status he thought it brought. Our little company started to grow, our dreams slowly turning into reality. It was hard work, longer hours than either of us could have imagined, but we were doing it. Together. Our little startup was like a newborn, demanding all our time and attention. Alex and I were in it elbow deep, trying to juggle a million things at once. It was during this chaotic dance of meetings, coding sessions, and endless coffee runs that Emily walked into our lives. We hired her on the spot. It wasn't just her confidence, it was her energy. She was like a live wire, ready to electrify our startup and push it into the spotlight. And that's exactly what she did. Emily wasn't just good at her job, she was phenomenal. Her campaigns were creative, edgy, and exactly what we needed. But it wasn't just her work that stood out, it was her personality. She was funny, quick-witted, and fit right into the little family we were building at the company. It was easy with Emily. She had this way of making everyone feel at ease, a magnetic personality that drew you in. But there were moments when I caught a glimpse of something else, a sort of loneliness that she masked with her humor. One day, while we were brainstorming in the office, I decided to broach the subject. Emily, how come someone as awesome as you is still single? Not prying, just curious. Emily's smile faltered for a second before she shrugged, her usual brightness dimming. Guess not everyone's as lucky as you, Sarah. Finding a guy like Alex? That's like striking gold. Her words were offhand, but the undercurrent of bitterness was unmistakable. It caught me off guard, stirring an unease I couldn't quite place. Hey, there's plenty of gold out there. Just gotta know where to look. I tried to lighten the mood, but Emily just shook her head, the topic clearly closed for discussion. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, our little company began to take shape. Emily's campaigns were bringing in clients, and our product was gaining traction. But it wasn't just the business that was growing, our relationships were too. Emily had become an integral part of our lives, blurring the lines between work and friendship. It was a golden time, filled with hard work, harder laughs, and the feeling that we were on the brink of something great. Emily, with her talent and fire, had become more than just an employee. She was a friend, a confidant, and a crucial part of our dream. As our startup began gaining momentum, I noticed a shift in Alex's focus. It wasn't the company that kept him busy, but rather, the pursuit of the perfect business suit or the latest model car. His obsession with appearances had always been a quirk I tolerated, but now it seemed to take precedence over the hard graft our company required. "Alex, don't you think there's more to focus on right now than another suit?" I asked him one morning, finding him browsing through an online luxury store during work hours. "Come on, Sarah. You know how it is. Looking the part is half the battle in business. Life's too short to deny myself the finer things," he retorted without looking up, his attention fixed on the screen. I shook my head, exasperated. "Sure, but maybe the other half of the battle is actually running the business? You know, the one we're trying to build here?" He finally glanced up, offering a half-smile that was meant to disarm. "Relax, Sarah. Everything's under control. A director needs to look sharp. It's good for morale." His nonchalance irked me, but I decided to let it go. There were bigger battles to fight, especially with the unsettling rumors that had begun to circulate around the office. One late evening, I was burning the midnight oil in the office when I decided to take a break and grab some coffee. As I neared the break room, I caught snippets of conversation that made me freeze in my tracks. "Saw Alex and Emily cozying up in the marketing suite yesterday. Didn't look like any work meeting to me," one of our developers muttered, unaware of my presence. "Yeah, there's definitely something going on there. They've been spending a lot of time together after hours," another chimed in, their tone laced with gossip. I felt a lump form in my throat. My initial instinct was to brush it off as baseless office chatter, but the seed of doubt was planted. With a heavy heart and a mind swirling with questions, I retreated back to my office, the coffee forgotten. The next day, I decided to confront Alex. I needed to hear his side, to clear the air. Finding him in his office, leaning back in his chair with that all-too-familiar smirk, I didn't waste any time. "Alex, we need to talk. There's talk going around about you and Emily." "What's going on?" My tone was more confrontational than I intended, my emotions getting the better of me. Alex's smirk faded, replaced by a look of confusion. "Talk? What talk?" "Sarah, you know me. Why would I do anything to jeopardize what we have here?" His words were meant to be reassuring, but there was a stiffness to his laughter that didn't sit right with me. "I want to believe you, Alex, but the rumors. They're not just going to go away. People are talking. People always talk, Sarah. It doesn't mean we have to listen. Emily's a crucial part of our team, nothing more. You think I'd risk our dream for a fling?" Alex's voice was firm, his eyes meeting mine in a challenge. I wanted to believe him, to brush off the rumors as just that, rumors. But the nagging doubt lingered, casting a shadow over our conversation. "All right, Alex. I just needed to hear it from you. Let's just focus on the work, okay?" "Always," he replied, but the ease that once defined our interaction seemed strained, tainted by suspicion. In the days that followed, I threw myself into my work, trying to ignore the whispers and the sideways glances. Emily, for her part, seemed oblivious to the rumors, her focus solely on her campaigns. But the atmosphere in the office had changed. What was once a place of camaraderie and innovation now felt like a minefield. I found myself observing Alex and Emily more closely, searching for any sign that the rumors might be true. Their interactions, once thoughtless and friendly, now seemed fraught with hidden meanings. The weeks leading up to the big contract signing were a blur of negotiations, revisions, and, frankly, a fair bit of groveling. The director on the other end was the type who'd make a saint swear. Every meeting, every call, it felt like wading through mud. But the payoff? It was going to be huge. This deal was our ticket to the big leagues, a chance to level up our startup in ways we'd only dreamed of. So, I buckled down, ignored the growing pile of laundry at home, and let takeout containers become my primary diet. Look, I know he's a pain, but if we land this, it's game changer, I told Alex during one of our late-night strategy sessions. Yeah, if he doesn't drive us insane first, Alex replied, his eyes glued to his laptop. Emily chimed in with her usual optimism. We've got this. Sarah's been crushing it. He's practically eating out of her hand now. I wasn't so sure about the eating out of her hand part, but we were close, damn close. And when the day finally came to ink the deal, the sense of anticipation in the office was electric. The annoying director, somehow less irksome with a pen in hand ready to sign, was there alongside us, a necessary evil in our path to victory. The moment the contract was signed, the atmosphere shifted from tense anticipation to outright celebration. Champagne bottles popped, and glasses clinked, the sound of success ringing loud in the lobby of our little startup that could. Alex, with that director by his side, stepped forward to address the crowd. I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible effort that went into making today possible. Alex started, his voice carrying over the buzz of conversations. Sarah, in particular, has been instrumental in getting us to this point. There was applause, a few cheers, and I allowed myself a small smile. Maybe all the stress was worth it after all. But then Alex's smile turned into something I couldn't read, a mix of smugness and something colder. Which is why it's even harder to announce that as of today, Sarah will no longer be with us. The room fell silent, the kind of silence that sucks the air right out of you. What are you talking about, Alex? I managed, my voice sounding foreign to my own ears. As the director of this company, I've made the decision to let Sarah go. We're moving in a new direction, and it's a decision I've not made lightly, Alex continued, his eyes avoiding mine. The confusion was palpable, the shock of his words echoing off the walls. My heart hammered against my ribs, a mix of disbelief and rising fury taking hold. You can't be serious. After everything, you're firing me? From my own company? My voice was rising, the outrage clear. The room spun, faces blending into a mosaic of shock and sympathy. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. This deal was meant to be our triumph, not my downfall. Everyone's eyes were on us, shock painted on every face. But Alex wasn't done. With a coldness I'd never seen in him, he added. And, there's more. I'm filing for divorce, Sarah. This has been a long time coming. Before I could even process the words, Emily, the so-called friend and our advertising executive, stood up and wrapped her arms around Alex. Her laughter sliced through the silence, a sound so out of place it felt surreal. I've known Alex way before you did, sweetie. Emily gloated, her eyes locked on mine, filled with a triumph I couldn't comprehend. All this, your little dream company, was just part of our plan. You were just a stepping stone. The room spun. This was a nightmare. You planned this? My voice was barely a whisper, my mind struggling to piece together the betrayal. Alex shrugged, a smirk playing on his lips. Business is business, Sarah. We needed you to get the company off the ground, to seal the deal. And now, we're moving on. The betrayal stung, a physical pain in my chest. I stood up, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. The eyes of our employees, once filled with respect and camaraderie, now showed anger and disbelief. I can't believe you, was all I managed to say before turning to leave, my vision blurred by tears. But then, something unexpected happened. One by one, our team stood up. "We're with you, Sarah," Mark, one of our developers, said firmly. "We don't want any part of this betrayal." "Yeah, count us out," another joined in. "We signed up to work with you, not them." Their words, their solidarity, gave me strength. I wasn't alone. As we all walked out together, Alex's voice echoed in the now empty lobby, calling out in a futile attempt to make them stay. In the end, it was just Alex and Emily left standing in the lobby of the company I built. Their victory was hollow, their future uncertain. We gathered in my small living room, a makeshift war room, surrounded by whiteboards and laptops. The air was thick with the smell of coffee and the buzz of ideas bouncing off the walls. "Okay, team, we're at square one again, but that's not going to stop us," I started, my voice firm, trying to project confidence I was still mustering up. "We've got the talent, the drive, and most importantly, we've got each other." Mark, ever the pragmatist, was the first to speak up. "Right, we've got heart, but we also need a solid plan. What's our angle? What are we bringing to the table that's different this time?" Lisa, who had always been the creative spark, jumped in. "We need to innovate. Remember those ideas we thought were too out there? Now's the time to bring them to life. No holding back." The room nodded in agreement, the energy shifting from uncertainty to excitement. It was clear we were all in, ready to take risks we'd previously shied away from. "And what about Alex and Emily? They're not going to take this lying down," I said, the thought of facing them again leaving a bitter taste. "We focus on us, not them," Mark said firmly. "We build something so good they won't be able to touch us. Let them play their games. We're here to win." The room erupted into a chorus of agreement, the resolve in each voice stronger than any doubt or fear. "We need a name," Lisa suddenly said, a smile spreading across her face. "Something that tells the world we're not just back, but better than ever." The suggestions started flying, some ridiculous, some brilliant, but all of them infused with the hope and camaraderie that had brought us together in my living room. After hours of debate, brainstorming, and more cups of coffee than I could count, we landed on a name that felt right. It was bold, it was fresh, and it perfectly captured the essence of our new beginning. Phoenix. With our mission clear and our spirits high, we ended the meeting with a sense of purpose. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time since the betrayal, I felt like we were on the right path. As everyone packed up their things, Mark lingered behind, a thoughtful look on his face. "You know, Sarah, what Alex did, it's going to make our victory that much sweeter. We're going to show him what he lost. We're going to show everyone." His words were the reassurance I needed. Yes, we had been knocked down, but we were far from out. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about proving to ourselves that we could rise from the ashes, stronger and more united than ever. After filing for divorce, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders, the kind you don't realize you're carrying until it's gone. My newfound freedom was intoxicating, a fresh start I hadn't known I desperately needed. Then, out of the blue, Alex called, his voice dripping with urgency and desperation. He wanted to meet, and despite every instinct telling me it was a bad idea, curiosity won over. We agreed to meet at a rundown diner on the outskirts of town, a place so nondescript it felt like a metaphor for our failed marriage. Alex was already there when I arrived, looking like a shadow of the man I once knew, with Emily, the cause of all this drama, clinging to his arm like a designer handbag. "Sarah, thank you for coming," Alex began, trying to muster a semblance of dignity. We're in a bit of a bind." Emily, her eyes swollen from what I assumed were tears, chimed in with a sniffle. "The deal, Sarah, the big deal we were all so happy about, it's gone. Cancelled." I couldn't help it, laughter bubbled up from within me, echoing off the dingy diner walls. "Oh, let me guess, the contract that anyone could cancel within 14 days? That one?" I managed between fits of laughter. Their faces were a mix of shock and embarrassment. "How did you?" Alex stammered, unable to finish. "The director, the one you found so annoying?" Turns out he has a thing against working with backstabbers, I said, my grin widening. The look of defeat on their faces was almost enough to make me feel sorry for them. Almost. Then, Alex, ever the opportunist, tried to salvage what little he could from the wreckage. Sarah, where did you get the funds for your new venture? Legally, I'm entitled to half, he said, desperation seeping through his feigned confidence. The audacity of the man was almost impressive. I laughed, harder this time, the sound bitter. Alex, dear, I've been making money long before you decided playing director suited you. I was a genius when you met me, and I'll be a genius long after you're just a footnote in my success story. Their faces were a picture of realization, the truth finally dawning on them that they had underestimated me at every turn. Standing up, ready to leave this chapter of my life behind, I looked them both in the eye. Good luck, you too. Something tells me you're going to need it far more than I ever will. As I walked out of the diner, the sun broke through the clouds, bathing the world in a warm, golden light. It felt symbolic, a sign that despite everything, I was on the right path. In the days that followed, I threw myself into my work, my new company, becoming a beacon of hope and ambition. The team and I worked day and night, our shared vision fueling us forward. Meetings with investors, late-night brainstorming sessions, and the relentless pursuit of innovation became my new normal. Each small victory was a testament to our resilience, a middle finger to those who had tried to bring us down. One evening, as we celebrated landing a major client, the team gathered around, beers in hand, the mood light and triumphant. Mark, ever the voice of reason, raised his glass. To Sarah, the toughest boss I've ever had the pleasure of working for. You showed us what it means to rise from the ashes. The team cheered, their support and belief in me more valuable than any deal or contract. Yeah, and to think, Alex and Emily thought they could take you down, Lisa added, laughter in her voice. I smiled, my heart full. Let them think what they want. We're here, we're succeeding, and that's the best revenge we could ever have. After everything that went down, I did the only thing I knew how. I built something new from the ground up. My new company wasn't just a rebound, it was a phoenix rising from the ashes, stronger and more vibrant than anything before. And the best part? My loyal crew was right there with me, every step of the way. We even managed to lock down a deal with the same partner company that bailed on Alex and Emily, proving that integrity and hard work do pay off. One day, as we were wrapping up a team meeting in our new, buzzing office space, Mark couldn't help but bring up the latest gossip that had been making rounds. So, have you guys heard? Alex and Emily's venture tanked. They're drowning in debt. Lisa, always the one to find a silver lining, added with a smirk. Guess they learned the hard way that you can't build something lasting on lies and betrayal. I leaned back in my chair, the corners of my mouth turning up. Well, it's a tough lesson, but it looks like karma doesn't take shortcuts. The room filled with nods and murmurs of agreement. It was true, we'd come out on the other side of adversity, not just surviving, but thriving. Alright, team, let's keep our eyes on the prize. We've got a lot to do, and I'm damn proud of what we've achieved. But this is just the beginning, I said, standing up, feeling the energy of the room lift even higher. As the team dispersed back to their desks, filled with a renewed sense of purpose, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey. Starting over wasn't just about proving Alex and Emily wrong, it was about proving to ourselves that we could overcome anything. Later, as I was getting ready to leave for the day, Mark caught up with me by the elevator. You know, Sarah, seeing Alex and Emily's downfall doesn't give me as much satisfaction as seeing what we built here. This is real success. I smiled, looking back at the office where our team was hard at work, laughter and light filling the space. You're right, Mark. This is what success looks like. Not the failure of others, but the triumph of our own spirit. Stepping into the elevator, I hit the button for the ground floor. As the doors closed, I felt a sense of accomplishment wash over me. My new company was more than just a business, it was a testament to resilience, to the power of starting over, no matter the odds. And as for Alex and Emily? Well, their fate was a stark reminder that shortcuts and deceit never lead to lasting success. The real victory was here, in the hard work, the late nights, and the unbreakable bond of a team that had weathered the storm together.